Have you ever felt like you're giving everything in a relationship, but somehow end up feeling empty, small, or not good enough? What if I told you that the most important relationship you ever have is the one you have with yourself, and that it holds the key to changing everything else? This feeling of not being enough often starts quietly, a whisper in the back of your mind, but it can shape every choice you make. Today, we're going to dive into a book that's changing lives, Quiérete Bonito by Paula Orell, which translates to Love Yourself Beautifully. This isn't just another self-help guide. It's a roadmap to rediscovering your worth and transforming how you see yourself and others. In the next few minutes, I am going to share 5 powerful ideas from this book that will help you break free from toxic cycles, build unbreakable self, and finally start loving yourself in a way that feels genuine and strong. So, if you're ready to stop feeling like a supporting character in your own life and start taking the lead role, stay with me. This could be the start of a beautiful transformation. First, let's talk about what loving yourself beautifully even means. We hear self-love everywhere, but it's often misunderstood. It's not just about bubble baths and positive affirmations. According to the book, loving yourself beautifully is about treating yourself with the same kindness, respect, and unconditional support you would offer to someone you deeply love. Imagine your best friend is going through a tough time. You wouldn't tell them they're a failure, right? You'd listen, you'd comfort them, you'd remind them of their strength. Loving yourself beautifully means becoming that best friend for yourself. It means accepting your flaws without judgment, celebrating your small victories, and forgiving your mistakes. It's about building a safe, inner home where you always feel welcome, no matter what's happening outside. The real shift happens when you realize that your worth isn't something you have to earn. It's something you already possess. But how do we protect this inner peace when the outside world, especially our relationships, tries to tear it down? This brings us to our second point, which is crucial for anyone who has ever felt drained by others. Let's explore how to recognize relationships that are quietly destroying yourself. Sometimes, the most damaging connections aren't the ones with loud fights, but the ones with subtle criticisms, or a general feeling that you have to walk on eggshells. The book gives a powerful example. Think about a friend or partner who makes jokes at your expense, and when you get upset, they say, "You're too sensitive." Or maybe it's someone who only celebrates your achievements if they don't overshadow their own. These are red flags. A relationship that damages your self-esteem is one where you feel you have to shrink yourself to fit in, where your needs are consistently ignored, or where you feel emotionally exhausted after spending time with them. A key phrase from the book to remember is, "A healthy connection energizes you. A toxic one drains you." Pay attention to how you feel in your body and mind after an interaction. Do you feel lighter, seen, and valued? Or do you feel heavy, anxious, and small? Recognizing this is the first step toward reclaiming your power. But knowing a relationship is harmful is one thing. Doing something about it is another. And that's where our next idea becomes a game changer. This leads us to one of the most important skills you can develop: setting emotional boundaries. Think of boundaries as the rules of engagement for how people get to treat you. They are not walls to keep people out. They are gates that you control. You decide who comes in, how far they can go, and when they need to leave. For example, if a family member constantly criticizes your life choices, a boundary isn't about yelling at them to stop. It's about calmly saying, "I appreciate your concern, but my career choices are not up for discussion. I'd love to talk about something else." If they persist, the boundary might be ending the conversation or leaving the room. It's about protecting your energy. The book emphasizes that setting boundaries will feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've been a people pleaser your whole life. People might get upset, and that's okay. Their reaction is their responsibility. Your peace is yours. Here's a powerful truth. When you start setting boundaries, you're not being difficult. You're being clear. You are teaching people how to love you correctly. And the most important person you need to teach is yourself. This leads us directly to how we can begin to heal the most fundamental relationship of all. So, how do you actually heal the relationship with yourself? This process is deep and personal, but the book offers a beautiful starting point. Treat your past self with compassion. Think about the younger version of youth, the child, the teenager, the young adult who made mistakes because they didn't know any better. We often carry so much shame and regret about past decisions. But what if, instead of cringing at those memories, you visualized that younger you and gave them a hug? What if you told them you did the best you could with what you knew at the time? I forgive you. We're okay now. This act of inner forgiveness is incredibly healing. Another practical step is to schedule dates with yourself. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be 30 minutes to read in a park, go for a walk without your phone, or cook your favorite meal just for you. The point is to intentionally spend quality time with yourself, listening to your own thoughts and desires without distraction. You are showing yourself through action that you are worthy of your own time and attention. This is how you begin to rebuild trust with yourself. But here is the secret that ties it all together. The entire time you are doing this, you must pay attention to the voice inside your head. And that brings us to our fifth and final idea: changing the way you talk to yourself. Your inner dialogue is the soundtrack of your life. If that soundtrack is constantly critical, negative, and judgmental, your world will feel harsh and unforgiving. The book asks a simple but profound question: would you ever talk to someone you love the way you talk to yourself? For most of us, the answer is a hard no. The first step is to simply notice your inner critic. When does it show up? What does it say? Don't fight it, just observe it, almost like you're watching a character in a movie. Then, consciously choose a different response. If you make a mistake at work and your inner voice says, "You're so stupid," pause. Then, actively counter it with something you'd say to a friend. "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes." What can I learn from this? This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything is perfect. It's about self-compassion. It is about changing the narrative from "I am a failure" to "I am a human who is learning." A beautiful phrase to hold on to is, speak to yourself as if you are someone worth protecting, because you are. This simple shift in your internal conversation can radically change your perception of yourself and your confidence in navigating the world. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. As we bring these ideas together, we arrive at a powerful realization. The journey to loving yourself beautifully is not about becoming a new person. It is about returning to the person you were always meant to be before the world told you who you should be. It's about peeling back the layers of self-doubt, fear, and criticism that have accumulated over the years. True self-love is transformative because it changes your center of gravity. Instead of seeking validation from the outside, you become your own source of strength, worth, and approval. When you love and respect yourself, you naturally attract people who will do the same. And you find the courage to walk away from those who don't. Your life begins to align with your soul, not with the expectations of others. It's a quiet revolution that happens inside you, but its effects ripple out into every corner of your life, creating a reality that feels authentic, joyful, and deeply fulfilling. You finally stop asking for a seat at tables where you're not welcome, because you realize you can build your own. So, as we close, I want to leave you with this thought. Every single day, you have a choice. You can continue to listen to the inner critic and stay in situations that make you feel small, or you can choose to take one tiny step toward loving yourself beautifully. It might be setting one small boundary, saying one kind word to yourself, or simply acknowledging your own feelings without judgment. The path to self-love is not a destination. It's a daily practice of choosing yourself over and over again. And so, I ask you this. What is one small, beautiful thing you can do for yourself today? Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content that helps you build a life you love.